This video, we're going to work on equations with variables on both sides. Again, there are going to be some steps that we should be following. Step one, we need to identify the variable to solve for. Step two, we're going to use inverse operations to get all variables to one side. And then once we have all that and we solved it, there are three possibilities you can have as answers. You could have one solution, which means they give you one exact answer, so the variable is equal to one number. You could have many solutions, which means both sides are equal. That means it doesn't matter what number you put in for the variable, both sides will still equal each other. So there would be many solutions, or means all solutions. Or you might have no solutions, which means when you get the variable by itself, the variable could cancel each other out. So maybe you won't have any variables left and you're left with two numbers on each side and the two numbers are not equal. So we're going to see an example of all three of these. So in example one, it says 2/5 h minus 7 is equal to 12/5 h minus 2h plus 3. Now the first thing we're going to do is identify the variable, which is h. So we need to get all the h's to one side. So to do that, I'm going to get all my h's to the left side. It doesn't matter which side you put your variables as long as they're all on the same side. So the opposite of adding 12/5 h is subtracting 12/5 h. And then the opposite of subtracting 2h is adding 2h. Now I'm going to do that on both sides here. So minus 12/5 h, and then it's a plus 2h. Now you could combine them if you wanted to right away and then move them. I'm just going to put them separate because I think it's going to be a little bit easier to simplify it. So I have 2/5 h minus 12/5 h, which will give me a negative 10/5 h. Negative 10/5 means negative 10 divided by 5, which gives me a negative 2. So I have a negative 2h plus 2h. So let me put that down right here. So I have negative 2h plus 2h, and then I have a minus 7 equals a positive 3. So negative 2h plus 2h is 0. So all I have left is a negative 7 equals a positive 3. Now negative 7 cannot equal a positive 3. So that would mean this is an example where I have no solution. And to be more specific, I would have no real solution. I could have an imaginary number, but we're not going to worry about the imaginary numbers right now. So both sides are not equal, so I can have no real solution. Next example. Example 2, we're going to do the same thing, identify the variable. Our variable is q. So we're going to try to get rid of, or we're going to solve for q. In order to do this, I have some parentheses in here. We want to get rid of our parentheses. So to get rid of our parentheses is I'm going to distribute. So negative 5 times 3 is a negative 15. Negative 5 times a negative q is a positive 5q. And then I have plus 4 equals 5q minus 11. Once I got rid of my parentheses, now I can get my variables to one side. To do that, I'm going to get my q's to the left. So I'm going to subtract 5q on both sides. And when I subtract 5q on both sides, on the left side I have negative 15 plus 4, which is a negative 11. And on the right-hand side, all I have left is a negative 11. Since negative 11 does equal negative 11, that tells me that I have many solutions. Or you might see it written as infinitely many, which means there's no limit. It can be any number that you would want to put in there, and it would still make both sides equal to each other. In our third example, example 3, 3/5 f plus 24 equals 4 minus 1/5 f. Identify our variable, which is f, and we're going to use inverse operations to get all the variables to one side. I'm going to get my f's to the left side, so I'm going to add 1/5 f to both sides. So now I have 4/5 f plus 24 equals 4. Now I need to get the 4/5 f by itself, so the opposite of adding 24 is subtracting 24. And that leaves me with 4/5 f equals a negative 20. And then my final step to get f by itself, since I have a fraction, I'm going to be multiplying by the reciprocal. So I'm going to be multiplying by 5/4, because this will give me 20/20. 20/20 f is really the same thing as 1f, which is what I want. So I have 1f. And then since I multiply by 5/4 on the left, I need to multiply by 5/4 on the right. And then I can do a little bit of simplifying. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So I have negative 5 times 5, which will give us a negative 25. Or you could have done negative 20 times 5, which is a negative 100. Negative 100 divided by 4 is a negative 25. So here my variable is equal to one exact answer. So this would be an example of one solution. So that is how you can solve equations with variables on both sides.